Alright, I'm out here down by the river, and it's a little snowy, a little rainy, but we're gonna do some walking through the woods to see if we can't find a good spot to do a little tutorial. Alright, here we go. Looks like somebody already made a little shelter down here with some sticks. Look at that. I'm out here in this little shelter, and today we're gonna make a Tinder tube. It's gonna be great. All you need is a brass tube and some rope that's covered in wax. Specifically some rope that's gonna be a little more flammable than a plastic kind of covered rope. So we got the classic Altoids tin that everybody puts their fire starting supplies in. And here we go. Alright, to make the Tinder tube, you don't need a lot. You just need the tinder, like this waxy rope. You can see that it's waxy because it kind of stays the way you bend it because of the wax. Now you have this brass tube here. It's obviously got a hole through it, and you put the tinder through the tube and you have a Tinder tube. Now because the ends of this tinder is kind of stuck together, we're going to want to fray it with a knife. Now I got the Essie Azula. You can use whatever kind of knife you want, but I like the Essie Azula. It's a beautiful knife in my opinion. So I'm going to pull the tinder through right here. It's a little crispy, so it's hard to get out. You definitely don't want to pull it too far in there if your rope is a little too thick, like mine. There we go. Okay, got the twine here, and it's already kind of frayed. We're going to fray it a little more on these tiny pieces just to get it lit up. I think that'll catch a spark, and at this point you could use your fingers. It all depends on the rope. And now that we got our ferrocerium rod, it's time to spark up this Tinder tube. I think it helps to put the ferrocerium rod on the twine a little bit to keep it in place. And just like that, it sparks up. Now because it's waxy, it's going to stay burning a lot longer than regular rope or twine. And you have the option to extend it if you want. And if you want to put it out, you just bring it back into the tube like so. And it's out just like that. Now you might be asking yourself, when am I going to need a Tinder tube when I just have a ferrocerium rod or a Bic lighter? Well, in rainy conditions, your Bic lighter can go out. Well, so can the canvas twine. But instead of using your Bic lighter, you can use this Tinder tube, and it produces a much larger flame, and you can use it to get some wet wood or, kind of semi-dry wood lit. So I think it can come in handy, and it's just a lightweight thing you can have in your pack. If you've tried to get tinder lit with a ferrocerium rod in rainy weather, it's very difficult. You have to dig around for dry wood, chop pieces of wood in half. So I think this Tinder tube will light very easily with a ferrocerium rod, and then you can use that Tinder tube to get those shavings lit, even if they're kind of wet. Works out pretty well. And especially with the winter approaching, it's good to have things like this in your arsenal. It can help you greatly. Alright, we're going to saw some wood, and I'm going to show you the real power of the Tinder tube. Alright, got a good pile of wood going, more than enough than what I need, and we're going to get some shavings, and then we're going to get it lit. It is starting to snow, so I got to get out of here soon before I'm totally soaked and my camera gets wet. I don't have a protective case. Now normally a ferrocerium rod isn't going to light tinder this big, it's just not going to do it unless your ferrocerium rod is the size of a baby's arm or whatever. So you might be SOL on that front if you can't find really thin, tiny pieces of wood that are going to burn easily. So if this is all you got and it's wet, a Tinder tube is going to benefit you greatly. Now, let's get started. So just as a quick example, we're going to get this bigger piece of tinder here. We're going to see if the ferrocerium rod will get it lit, which I really doubt. having a pretty hard time. It's kind of lit, but Tinder tube will be better. So we got our tube here, ferrocerium rod over it. She's lit, just like that. Okay, now just gonna hold it here. Just like that, it's going, and it just stays burning. You want to put it out, right back into the tube. Now you can get a fire going pretty quick. The Tinder tube is easy to light up. All you need is a ferrocerium rod, and yeah, you could use a ferrocerium rod to start a fire, but if everything's wet, it's cold out, you know, you're not going to get a fire going that easily, so it's a lot more easy to just have that ferrocerium rod and that Tinder tube, and you're good to go. Alright, I don't know if you can tell, it's starting to snow out, so I gotta get out of here, but it's been fun. It's been a good time out here in the woods, and you know, it's awesome that I found this little shelter. It really made the day. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me to keep making content like this and providing the best quality videos for you. Every person counts when it comes to liking and subscribing, so please hit those buttons. It helps me out a great deal, and it gets me in the algorithm so I can have more motivation to make videos like this. Thank you.